feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Back again for this Friday afternoon, warm Friday afternoon down in Melbourne here. Going to give you some updates throughout the world of true crime. A lot of updates this afternoon, including some updates about Gus, the missing boy out of South Australia. Plus, I'm going to show you how bad the crime has gotten in Melbourne, Australia. It's gotten really nasty down here, and we're going to do some updates. Where have I been this afternoon, you might ask? And Ping is going to tell you I have been at the American store this afternoon. I just got home not long ago, and I was at a company down here that does American groceries and things like that. Here's a photo. This is the store here. It's quite big. This is the section for Goldfish crackers and Peeps, but they don't tend to have everything, but they have a lot of things. What did we get? Well, you're going to have to find out on the second channel when we do our sort of American food taste test and things people send in, sort of random show we're going to do on the second channel. But yeah, we were out at the USA food store about 25 minutes or something from where I live, and headed out there. They're all geared up for Halloween. They've got American flags everywhere, and yeah, fun store. Just super expensive. Everything's like 4 or 5 times the price you would expect in America, probably. But yeah, we got some fun things, and they had some specials. It's an interesting place. Out the front, they have people cooking burgers and hot dogs in an American themed camper van, like a food truck. And yeah, so it's a cool place, pretty big sort of supermarket. I'll tell you a story. Back when this store first opened, it was tiny. It was in a different suburb, and it literally had like 4 shelves and a cash register, like a tiny little corner store. And after about 15 years, it is now this quite large American grocery store. So we were able to get some things to taste test for you. And when we were down there today, we actually picked up a new thing. So we got some interesting stuff that I've never seen before, things that Mrs. Ping hasn't seen before, and we're gonna try them. We're gonna try them on the other channel. Hey, it's good to see you all. How are you? Kim is here. Miss Woozy is here. Old One here. Chipmunk is here. Kathy Lynch is here. Wendy made it. Kelly H is here. My friend Joe is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, mate. Jackie's here. Who else is up on my list here? Betsy made it. Rachel made it. I Hate Mornings is here. Shasta Daisy is here. Good to see all of you. Audio Power User made it. Good to see you. C. Taylor is here. You know, I feel like because we're on so late, a lot of our friends on the East Coast don't come by anymore, and that's very sad to me. I miss all our friends on the East Coast. I hope in the American winter, when the time changes, that they will come and hang out a bit more, because there's so many people I don't see. They used to come to the chat every day, and I feel like since we went to trial, they just don't come to the chat anymore for some reason. It's like the trial was boring to them and they don't want to drop by anymore. It's upsetting to Ping. Anyway, let's talk about Gus. So what happened with Gus this week? So this week, Gus, he's been missing since the 27th of September 2025 in his parents' property or grandparents' property in Yunta in South Australia. They went back out there this week for a second search of the property in what they called an expanded search area. So they went out for this expanded search, and it ended today, a few hours ago, about 4 hours ago today. The second search of the property ended, and the police say that they have searched all the areas that they want to search, all of them. That all of these targets that they wanted to hit and search, that they've done that. And as you see, search for missing boy comes to an end with no new information. None. They didn't find anything. There's no footprints, no clothing. They didn't find the boy. No one came forward. There's no new sightings. Nothing. Zero. No new information after dragging over 100 people out to this property to search for the 4-year-old boy, and they have found exactly zero. Nothing. And it's very disturbing that in the place where you think, in all places in Australia where you think a small child would probably be safe, you would think it might be in an outback sheep farm where there's no one for miles and miles and miles. But apparently not. It's very strange. It's very odd. Ping thinks it's very strange. But I'm going to give you this little update here, and it's about the heat that the searchers had to search through.
Good evening. The search effort for Gus Lamont is about to shift focus as crews prepare to pack up, still without any sign of the little boy on the remote South Australian property.
Police and the Defence Force will conduct one final sweep tomorrow. Samantha Hogan is in Yunta. Sam, what happens with the investigation after that?
Well, Brenton, if they don't find any clues tomorrow, I'm told it will likely be the last time we see boots on the ground searching the remote homestead for Gus. Crews rolled in at first light this morning to try and make the most of the cooler conditions before the wind and heat set in. By midday, rising temperatures forced them to wrap up operations. This is now day 3 of the renewed search at the sheep station, where Gus disappeared close to 3 weeks ago without a trace. Over 100 personnel, police, defence, SES are covering up to 25 kilometres a day. The area they're now sweeping is almost double the size of the original search zone.
Everyone is doing everything they can, and we can't ask anything more of South Australian Police and the ADF and other agencies that are involved. But we continue to hold out a glimmer of hope, and we hope something comes of it.
Authorities say they're now on track to have covered around a 5.5 kilometre radius by tomorrow. And after that, they're looking at technology that could help, possibly more drones or aerial imaging, because at this stage, they still believe the most likely scenario is that Gus wandered off and became lost. Detectives, though, continue to explore every possibility, with police staying in close contact with Gus's family and speaking to locals as the investigation continues. Kate?
Sam, thank you for the update.
Now they talk about new technology. Remember I told you about the girl who went missing 3 years ago on the show yesterday? And they said that they had used new technology to find her. I'm going to take you back to Erin Patterson. And you guys are all going to be like, everything goes back to Erin Patterson. Well, this bit does. If you remember, when they searched Erin's property for the second time in November of 2023, that they used technology sniffer dogs. Do you remember that? Technology dogs is what they called them. That girl that went missing yesterday was found via the same search dogs. They found her with the technology sniffing dogs. And it's very interesting that these canines have now done a bunch of things, but including finding a missing girl who was missing for 3 years. I wonder, when they talk about using new types of technology to find Gus, I wonder if there's a way they could use some. He wouldn't have a mobile phone, he's a child, but maybe there's something like that, some sort of cutting edge technology that they could use from the AFP, or like they said, they're going to use land surveying. So probably like from satellites or drones to survey the area, maybe. But yeah, very interesting. Audio Power says 6 degrees of mushroom separation. You hope you are not 6 degrees from Erin Patterson. She might invite you over for dinner. And I don't think you want that. Chipmunk says in water. In water? No, she wasn't found in water. No. Here, I'll show you the update. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'll show you the update about. Yeah. So it was Lucinda Miller, and she was found in Needham South after 3 years. Go away. There we go. And if I show you the bit here, I hope this one has it as well. No. Here. Technology detection dogs from the Australian Federal Police were enlisted in the hopes of finding Miss Miller's mobile phone during the search, with Inspector Linford revealing the dogs had played a role in locating a vodka bottle she was known to be carrying at the time. They said the bottle had led them to the remains of Lucinda. So there you go. Those dogs not only sniff out mobile phones, apparently they also sniff out vodka bottles. How they do that, I'm not sure. But maybe vodka is technology. I'm not sure. But very clever animals. But they were able to locate this young lady who disappeared October of 2022. But maybe there's some sort of technology they could do to track down Gus. Maybe they could do that. Shasta said, I can sniff out vodka. The AFP might have a role open to you. Apply today. Chipmunk said, they make some nasty flavors. The dogs? Are you putting dogs into vodka? What? I'm concerned for you, Chipmunk. You come up with some strange things about animals all the time. But yeah, so they found this woman and they used those technology dogs that we heard about from Erin Patterson. That's the first time I'd ever heard about them being used in a criminal case. I'd heard them used in other scenarios, like at war. I've heard them used for like sniffing out bombs and things like that. I never heard them sniffing out a mobile phone. So they're really cool. Kim said, these are real dogs. Yeah, they're real dogs. One of them's got a cute name. Hold on. One of them's got like a really cute name. And it looks really cute too. But it's a very serious working dog. Let me see. There was a photo of them like training at one point. Oh, it doesn't have it in this one. But there was they did sort of a video explaining like what they do and oh yeah, capability demo. Maybe this is it. Yeah, let me go into their media section and see if I can find it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I want to do. How do I go backwards? Cancel. There we go. So there you go. There's one of the technology dogs searching for some sort of technology during this was an event where they were showing the government sort of what they do, and it was sort of like an exhibition. There you go. There's one of the dogs, and yeah, they just look like the other dogs, like the other ones that search for things. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I like it too. There you go. There's a little baby one. There's a little puppy one. He's going to be trained to be a technology dog at some point. So they obviously maybe breed them and then try and find the ones that have the instinct that they like, and then they probably, try to make more of them. Oh, look, there's a few of them. Little baby ones. Probably going to put them through training at some point. So, yeah, they do amazing work and Rachel said those dogs are doing amazing work. Hey, they found mobile phones, SIM cards. The photos from Aaron Patterson of the mushrooms, not the ones that were the death cap mushrooms, but the ones that were the other type of mushrooms, like all these random ones that she picked around the home. These are the dogs who found that SIM card, and those images made it to trial. So without those dogs, we would never have had those images introduced to the trial, because they did not find them the first time they searched that home. They only found it when the dogs were brought in. So yeah, they do some good work, those puppy dogs, but maybe they can use something like this to find Gus, but he does not have a mobile phone. So I don't know, but they said they're willing to use new technology to try and find Gus. And maybe they could do that. Maybe they could use satellite imaging to see if anything has changed on the property. But since a week before Gus went missing to today, maybe they could see if there's any landscape changes to try and find Gus. I hope so. Because that little boy has been missing. How long has he been missing for now? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He's been missing about 20 days now. 20 days out there. If Gus is out there, and that's what the cops believe, that he walked away from the home, 20 days out in the outback, in the heat. The heat is so severe out there that the people searching for Gus could only start at like 7 a.m. in the morning and work till midday. So work till like the highest point of the sun. And then they called off the search every day because the conditions just got so severe. Imagine that being a 4-year-old child out there for 20 days. No water, no food, no shelter. And they still believe, after searching for hundreds of hours now, hundreds of people out there, no sign of him at all, that he still wandered away from the family property. I have so many questions, so many. How a child could do that is one of them. All right, I'm going to take you to 7 News, talking about the wrap-up of the search for little Gus.
Ben, thank you. This week's renewed search for 4-year-old Gus Lamont, who vanished in outback South Australia, is about to wrap up, almost 3 weeks since he was last seen. Live now to Lauren Rose, who is in Yunta. Lauren, the Army is about to head back to Adelaide.
That's right, Tash, and they're really devastated to be leaving here without having found 4-year-old Gus Lamont. You can only imagine how devastated his family must be, having to say goodbye to these search teams without any answers. Tomorrow marks 3 weeks since Gus's grandma last saw him, since anyone last saw him. He was playing on a pile of sand out the front of their house. He was left unsupervised, and next minute he was gone. He simply vanished on the family's vast, expansive outback sheep station. Since then, what we've seen is the largest search in South Australia's history. 95 square kilometres have been meticulously scoured, many more hundreds of square kilometres by air. Still though, searchers don't even know which direction Gus wandered off in. He was wearing a sun hat, a long sleeve t-shirt, pants, boots. None of that has been found. It truly is a baffling missing persons case, and just a real tragedy for everyone involved. It's not the outcome that anyone wanted, Tash.
So there you heard what it was like out there for the searchers, and sort of what everyone has done this week to try and find that child. And you heard her say it's the largest search in South Australian history. The largest for a missing person ever conducted. And they still didn't find a trace of this child. It's very concerning all around. It's concerning for, well, Gus, number one. But the fact that a child could vanish into thin air and 2 separate searches over 2 different weeks could not find a trace of him is not a track, not a trail, no footprints, no drag marks, any type of human biological, nothing is very strange. It's like the aliens came down and abducted him. Or, they abduct cows apparently. Maybe they took a child this time. I don't know. But it just doesn't add up. It's just something here that doesn't add up at all. Rachel said, I'm very suspicious about not finding any. That's the thing. If they had found a trace of the child, I'd be very like, okay, well, it's such a large region. Somehow he got away and they just can't find him because of how vast it is. And I'd be like, okay, well, that sounds about right. But the fact they don't have a trail from where he was last seen, they don't have any footprints. They didn't even know the direction he went in. And I find that even a bit odd. So on the night he went missing, the family realized after half an hour that he wasn't where he was supposed to be. But when they went out there was nothing to indicate a direction. He didn't take anything with him. He didn't scuff his feet at all. A little child, I would assume, doesn't walk in a very neat, way that they would like scuff their feet and sort of tread on things. And I find that very odd that no one knows what direction he went in. They don't know where he went. It's very odd. Kelly said, I know I asked this before, but are there a lot of animals in that area? Yes. Possibly sheep. No. There was a local that was doing an interview and they said that there really isn't a lot of animals in that area that would hurt a human. About the only thing that's out there that would hurt a human is a snake. There's a lot of snakes out there. I read that when they were searching this property, they came across several brown snakes while they're out there. And brown snakes, if you're not an Aussie, pretty poisonous. If you get bitten by it, it's a good trip to hospital. They're pretty dangerous. They're on that ranking in the world. It's like, most deadly animals type thing. That they're out there, and apparently the searchers came across quite a lot of them. And the reason you'll come across them out there is when the sun gets high in the day, the snakes want to get out of the sun. So anything that these people had to look under to try and find Gus, like, under plants or hedges or any vegetation, when they lift that up or move it, there's more than a good chance there might be a giant brown snake hiding from the sun under it. So apparently they came across quite a few reptile, snaky, poisonous things out there. I don't know. The person that interviewed said they didn't think there was anything out there, and he laughed at the fact that people said there might be dingoes out there. So I don't know. The local said that there isn't anything like that at this area. He said there's no real animals out there that would hurt humans besides snakes. So I'll take the locals' word for it. Miss Woozy said, is it possible there are any ground wells or holes that he could have fallen into? So the area was used for mining, many, many decades ago. And there are mine shafts scattered around the area. I don't know whether on Gus's property there are any, but on a neighboring property, there was a whole heap. And the neighbor said that he has searched his property and lived there for a number of years, and he is still finding old mine shafts that he didn't know were there. And apparently they're quite, they're quite dangerous. They're old, they're dilapidated. They, if you fell down them, you'd very much hurt yourself. So that's a possibility, but you would think that the cops would maybe have searched the ones they could have found. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you the photo of the mine shaft. Here we go. I think I've shown it before, but I'll show it again. So this is from a neighboring property, and this is what they have littered about on their property. So I don't know. It's a possibility. Cops said that they have used divers to search any type of water on the property, including water tanks or dams, feeding kind of things for animals. They have searched everything that has water. But this is a type of mine shaft that a neighbor has on their property. Miss Woozy said, I'm sure they've looked in them, but that is the first place I would have looked. Me too. Hey, Wendy. Good to see you, my friend. Chipmunk says, the canine would be bored with me. I don't know. You seem to be like the evil Miss Doolittle with animals, so I don't know if he'd be bored. Might be somewhat afraid. I Am Morning says, it's just really strange there aren't any footprints or scuff marks. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I was going to say something. Hold on. So I want to thank Jay. At the end of the show last night, Jay sent in a super chat and I missed it. And Jay said, sorry, Ping, I know you'd prefer PayPal or that other thing, but they don't have that set up. Hope YouTube gives you something close to $5. Thank you, Jay. I very much appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Yes, it's very sweet of you. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's very, very kind. Who snorted? Who did that? It wasn't me. You're gonna take the evil Miss Doolittle as a compliment? Well, you have to change your chat name to that now. That's what you have to do. Change your chat name to it. That's it on Gus. The search is over, and like you heard in that video, they will not be going back for a third time. This is it. They are done with the ground searches. So wherever Gus is, don't know. How will they find him? I'm not sure either. If there's no one actively searching for him, is it going to turn into one of those things that we talk about 20 years from now and say there was a little, do you remember that little boy that went missing on that, that sheep farm? Is that something we're going to do? I hope not. Hey, Nicole, nice to meet you. If he'd only been gone for 30 minutes when they started searching, I can't imagine a 4-year-old walking that far. That's what I said the other day. I said, if it was 30 minutes, wouldn't they just hop on a 4x4 and go searching in like around the area? Wouldn't the 4x4 be faster than a 4-year-old? Like, honestly, wouldn't a vehicle that is petrol powered be able to outrun a 4-year-old? I'm pretty sure they can. I don't think a 4-year-old is that fast. So I want to know the answer to that question. Why were they not able to find him when they went searching for him with vehicles? I find that very odd, very strange, and that's if I was a cop, that's the answer. Like, that's the question I would keep asking. Why, if it was only half an hour, were you not able to catch up with him in a vehicle? 4-year-old can't outrun a vehicle, I'm pretty sure. So yes, I find that one of the major questions that needs answering. Miss Woozy said, can a dingo really run off with a child? Yes. It has happened recently. Actually, only a few months ago, a child was snatched or bitten on an island here in Australia. So it does happen, but I don't think that's what happened here. Kay Kaliza, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Yes, I agree with you. Very very odd. Betsy said those mine shafts look scary. Probably a lot of loose soil. I would agree. They did not find Gus. No. Chipmunk said, if a dingo did take him or pigs, I want to know why no blood was found. Pretty sure that someone commented a few days ago, there are no pigs out there. There's no pigs out there for them to eat Gus. So apparently no piggies out there either. Let me go here. I just want to see if they did an update for the end of the search rather than the anticipation of the end of the search. Let me have a look. No. I think it's, yeah, just the one I played to you. So that is your update for Gus. And the update is there really is no update. They haven't found anything. There's no new news to tell you. And I think we're going to be left wanting for any new information for it for a while. And that's very sad. A 4-year-old boy, very cute 4-year-old boy. He's got the greatest hair ever. Could have been an 80s hair rock singer. He could have been. When he grew up, he could have done a band like those old hair rock. He's got the greatest curls I think I've ever seen on a young kid. He would have done great. Nicole said, did they say he was wearing a hat? Yes. That also would have blown off. Yeah, no clothing. You would think that would be the first thing they would find. Any clothing, a shoe, a sock, a hat, anything. But I was saying you might even found biological matter, human feces. If you were quick enough, maybe some pee. So, that kid has to act like a normal human if he was out there for a day or so even. And they didn't find that either, which would have been a clue to be like, oh my God, there's a child around. Look, here's some human biological matter. But nothing. And it just all adds up to being strange to me. Joe Schmo said the update is there is no update. Yep, that is the update. So I don't want to keep dragging on about it. I think we've said what we need to say about it. I want to take you to a story in Melbourne. And when I watched this video, I was shocked. Actually, I don't say that very often on this show, but I was actually shocked at it. I can't believe this would happen to someone in Melbourne. And I'm going to show you the video. If you're sensitive to things like this, even though it is true crime, just be forewarned. So this is some CCTV vision. So this woman runs up to this other lady, and this other lady is going to work. She's a sushi chef, and she works at a restaurant, and she's heading to work around 7:30 in the morning. And this other woman comes up and taps her on the shoulder and then does this. She stabs her in the chest. Luckily, a good Samaritan comes by and puts pressure on the wound and helps her, but it's crazy. Just walks up to her and knifes her. I don't know what they don't know each other. They never met. They don't have any prior arguments with each other. Just walk into work in the morning. And this other woman attacked her and hurt her. It must have been super frightening for that woman. The lady's name is Wan Ting Lai, and she's 36 years old. She was stabbed near the intersection of Little Bourke Street and Spencer Street in Melbourne CBD around 7:40 a.m. on October 2nd of this year. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you except for that is frightening. Here's the person they have arrested for the crime. There you go. Lauren Durrell, she's 32, and she is trying to get bailed from prison. There you go. She wants bail. She wants to get out of prison. Now, according to the information that I have, very unfortunately, she's a schizophrenic. She has schizophrenia. And I'm guessing it is totally not treated. But she apparently does suffer from schizophrenia. And I don't know if that has anything to do with her alleged offending. But that is the information I have. That poor woman that she attacked, apparently she suffered from a really strange illness because of the stab wound. When she was struck in the chest, apparently there was an air bubble that made itself around the lung, and it sort of punctured her lung and compressed her lung, and it made it hard for her to breathe. So the poor lady who got stabbed didn't just have a wound in her chest, it also affected her lung, and it meant that she had trouble breathing. Yeah, they go and describe it here. I'll tell you about it. I've never heard of this illness before, but it's I'm trying to see if I can find it. Uh, hmm. I can't find it now, but it was described in another article. Yeah, she had this air bubble that had formed around the wound, and I think it's because she had the punctured lung. Poor lady. Apparently, she is recuperating, but she's still in a lot of pain, according to her. But apparently, a lot of people are sending her flowers and hoping that she gets better. Here's her in the hospital bed, receiving some flowers from people. I'd also like to commend the very nice person who stopped, put pressure on the wound, and called emergency services and made sure that she got help. That person should be known and should be upheld for doing the right thing, and maybe give them an award for being very brave and helping another human in a time of need. We need more of those type of people in our society, and less of the type of people who run around and knife people, illness or not. Illness or not. There's one thing to say, yes, she's an ill woman. There's another thing to say, well, you still hurt someone and you still almost killed them. But yes, the lady who, um, comforted the victim, helped her out, made sure she was okay. That lady needs a commendation and an award, needs to be in the paper. I think she's a great human. I don't have a name of the Good Samaritan who helped out. I wish I did, because I would like to single her out for her good deeds. She seems like a very good person. Let me see. I can't see anything, but I can tell you this is how she feels in hospital. Miss Lai spent 3 days at the Royal Melbourne Hospital before she was even able to walk to the bathroom. Now faces a long and exhausting road to recovery. And she said, even short walks leave me breathless and exhausted. I've also had trouble eating these past few days, unable to chew properly. I can only manage liquids, which fill my throat after just 2 or 3 mouthfuls, and the resulting hiccups caused a throbbing pain in my right chest. She says, I've been confined to a bed most of the time, recuperating, and it might take a while. When I do speak, I can only speak in fragments, describing simple snippets. For the past 2 days, I've been completely confined to bed, completely tethered to various testing tubes, only using one hand to check everyone's messages. It sounds like she's having a pretty horrible time. Pretty horrible time. I'm just trying to say. Yeah. Da, 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 da. So here, police told that the alleged attacker was a resident in a nearby council-backed shelter that provides 50 housing units to meet the needs of people experiencing homelessness. The property management has also asked police not to allow her to return to the building after her release from prison, and 3 additional police teams will be patrolling the area. So the people who tried to help her and give her a home also do not want her to come back due to her behavior. Interesting. Let me see. I want to find out more of this alleged attacker, even though we've seen the video. Let me see. So apparently Daily Mail found something from an old video. Let's have a look. If you could only see the way she loves me. Okay.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Ding and 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 ding. Hello.
Lovely. A very fine example of a something. I'm not exactly sure what that was. I don't know. That was a strange video. But that is the person apparently. Yeah. Look, it frightens me because I go to the city quite frequently, and Little Burke Street is somewhere I've been a lot over the last couple of years. And it could have been anyone. She could have picked on anyone to do that to. And it's frightening that these people are walking around allowing these type of thoughts and things to just take them over and attack people. It's horrible. Yeah, I'm going to play you an update. If it'll play, we'll see.
Our reporter Paul Dowsley joins us now with more details from the scene. Paul, good afternoon. What's been the reaction to this shocking attack?
Well, predictably, Tash, residents and politicians have been stunned by this because it was unprovoked and the attacker came from behind. Happened here on Little Burke Street, 7:30 in the morning. The victim walking to work does not see the woman coming from behind and also doesn't see that woman has a blade, pulls it out and stabs her in the chest, puncturing her lung. The attacker runs off. The victim left, collapsed on the ground as people who have seen this rush over to help her before the police then arrive and a search starts for that attacker. It's understood that the suspect in this had been at the centre of a police search because she was living in what's called transitional supportive housing, which is in part to assist people with mental health issues and homeless people. She had though been she'd been wanted for an appointment in relation to her medication and her mental health, but had not attended it, so there was a search happening for her. But today, big questions here about the bail laws because the suspect was on bail at the time. Also about knife crime in the city, which has been a massive issue for so many months. Attacks like this that are random and targeted. We have, of course, a machete ban at the moment and an amnesty at the moment. This woman brought out a blade and made this attack in broad daylight. We heard this morning from the Premier and the opposition leader.
No one who commits such a brazen, violent act on our streets should be on our streets.
There you go. Chipmunk said, what changed in Melbourne? I don't think anything has changed as such. I don't know. Just knife crime is going through the roof. Audio Power said, as a Melbourne person, it was 2018 when I noticed levels of homelessness increased a lot. I do believe that a lot of people are being priced out of accommodation, and I don't think that helps. I think Melbourne has gone through the roof price rise for renting. Like, my rent's gone through the roof. I know everyone else's has. And I think it's possibly affecting a lot of people, not in this particular case, but in other ones. It's making people homeless. People can't afford it. There's very few rentals on the market as well. It's like the lowest rental market since the 1970s in Melbourne. There's so few properties. And I think, unfortunately, it's causing some people to become homeless. And it probably makes them very unstable when they already have barriers in place in their life. Chipmunk said, it's going to get worse everywhere. I keep saying we need special places built, not prisons. The thing is, though, she was in sort of a special accommodation, not for someone who's mentally ill, but she was very lucky to be in a homeless service that helps around 50 people. But she wasn't in a mental ward, no. Audio Power says, sadly, I may have seen the best of Melbourne when this didn't happen. Yeah, Melbourne's suffering and going downhill at the moment, unfortunately. But I would still like to find that woman. She's in this
It was,
footage,
and
I think.
it's such a
By the way, this is our useless premier, Jacinta Allen. She is terrible. Not because she's a woman. We like women in power and we like to have men or women, doesn't matter. As long as you can do the job really well, no one cares. She is horrific. She has ground Melbourne into the ground since she came into power. The one before her, Dan Andrews, wasn't much better. He's the one who kept us locked up for 2 years during the pandemic. But her and her team are crap. They have just run Melbourne and Victoria, wider areas of Victoria, just into the ground. They've let the hospitals turn to shit. They've let the ambulances turn to crap. Crime's gone through the roof. There's youth offending everywhere. And the only thing she's ever worried about is making sure she continues with suburban rail loop and building stuff that doesn't matter instead of fixing the things that do matter in Melbourne. She is awful. I can't wait for her to go away. But unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen because the other side in Melbourne are just as incompetent. There's no one you would be like, yes, I'd like to vote for them because they're going to do a better job. No, they're both equally as terrible as each other. There's no real leader on either side, unfortunately. So we're stuck with her for a while. Chipmunk said, yes, I believe you are right. I believe you're right. All right. Yes, I wanted to bring you that story because it was just that shocking for me. I want to go here. I wanted to check if we had an update on Kader. Did we get... Yes, we did get an update for Kader. I'm going to bring it to you. Apparently, her alleged abductor and possibly murderer has been held on a $2.5 million bail. Wow, $2.5 million. That might be one of the biggest bail amounts I've heard in a while. By the way, before we get into that story, I'd like to say thank you to someone, if I can do that. Jackie, thank you very much. That is very kind of you. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's kind people like you that allow me to, well, do this, but then when we get the opportunity, we head out to live trials and bring you information that no one else is giving to you. So that money goes towards funding the trials when we can go to them. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much for being a part of that. Hold on, we're on the wrong page. Good work, Ping. Good work.
New details on the man charged in the disappearance of Kader Scott. 21-year-old Keon King was in court today, now being held on $2.5 million bail. And as that case plays out, authorities now still searching for any sign of Kader Scott. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm Brian Taft.
And I'm Sarah Bloomquist. The big story on Action News is the arraignment of Keon King. He's facing kidnapping and other charges related to Scott's disappearance on October 4th. She has still not been found.
Well, today we learn more about the investigation into a previous kidnapping charge connected to King earlier this year. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at Philadelphia Police Headquarters this afternoon with the latest. Another day of significant developments, Annie.
Brian, that's right. And King arraigned this morning, now facing that hefty bail of $2.5 million. Today, though, authorities are still looking for the missing woman.
Keon King arraigned this morning and facing charges of kidnapping in connection with the disappearance of 23-year-old Kader Scott. The 21-year-old is facing a second charge of kidnapping in connection with a January 2025 case. Sources say this video circulating on social media stems from that same incident. The video is part of the investigation. Yesterday, the district attorney's office explained why the case was ultimately dropped.
He did have a previous case. It was a 2025 case for very similar conduct, strangulation and kidnapping. That case had been withdrawn by our office based on the witness failing to appear at court.
Today, homicide detectives were back in the area of yesterday's extensive searching for video. Wednesday, they combed the grounds near the closed Ada Middle School in East Mount Airy, across from the Aubrey Arboretum, where they searched last week.
An interesting update, but I'd like to know, when are we going to find out where Kader is? Now, it's all well and good that they've arrested him. He's in jail. But where is she? That's what I would like to know, because it concerns me that it's a week or so now, and we not any closer to finding out where she got to. Now, this other video came out today, super creepy video of this guy, Keon King. Keon King. This creepy ass video of him stalking his previous victim. I'm going to show it to you. This is creepy as hell.
District Attorney Ashley Kozlowski is referring to this cell phone video shared on social media that's now being used as part of their investigation. Officials say it was taken earlier this year at a home in North Philadelphia.
What you're seeing in the video is a cell phone video that was taken by a person that was inside that residence. Keon King is, you can see his face, it's him on the video. He hops a fence and tries to gain entry into that property. He comes back twice, trying to gain entry into that property through a window.
Kozlowski says at some point after the video ends, the woman and another person in the home stepped outside, and that's when it's alleged King kidnapped her while his 2-year-old child was in the back seat.
He grabbed the victim, put her in the car, and drove away and assaulted her.
The charges were ultimately withdrawn after authorities say the woman didn't show up to court. As for the search for Kata Scott today, investigators focused their attention on King's 1999 Toyota Camry, which they believe Scott was in before she disappeared. Police sources also say they recovered evidence connected to Scott at an abandoned school in Germantown after their search there yesterday.
Yeah, that video is creepy. So that's the other woman that he had charges against him for trying to kidnap. And this is the kind of stuff he does. And you heard it there. After this video, they went out to check if the coast was all clear. There he is, peering through a window. And after they went outside, he kidnapped her, forcibly took her from her property. What was this guy doing on the street? And why did you drop those charges 6 months ago when you said, oh, the victim didn't come to court? What support were you putting in place to help her? Because maybe he had been intimidating her. When you have a guy doing this type of stuff in the video, I wouldn't put it past him to be intimidating her to not go to court. So could Kata's disappearance and possible murder been prevented? Why do we have to keep doing these stories where if someone had just done their job in the first place, we wouldn't have to talk about a girl being killed? It happens so frequently. It's so frustrating to hear about it because that's someone's daughter that is now gone from this world, when all it would have taken was to keep this freaking creep behind bars. And instead we're all like, oh, girl didn't show up for court, let's just call it off. Ridiculous. Absolutely just ridiculous. You know, you see this kind of creepy behavior. Now we have a girl we can't find who's most likely been murdered because of this absolute creep. It's frustrating. I've read so many of these stories, and it's always like, oh, we did have him a few months ago and we let him go. Just lock him up. If he's a threat to other people, keep him there. Keep him behind bars. I mean, you know, it makes me sad that it's possible that we could have saved Kata if someone had just acted earlier. You know, these guys escalate. If this guy's already jumping fences and taking people forcibly from their property, that should have been a great sign that the next time he does this, it may go even further. These people escalate. We know this about offending. They start, they do one thing, they get away with it, so they try more and they, you know, keep going a bit more. And now look where we are. We have a girl we can't find, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you except for it's very, very frustrating. So the search for Kata is ongoing, and I don't know. I hope we find her soon. She's been missing for more than a week. They found the guy, and not found her. Hopefully that changes in the next 24 hours or so. All right. I want to take you to another story that's going to make me very mad. I wanted to go out to California. We don't go out to California. No, we always go out to California. There's always weird stuff happening over there. I want to talk to you about a missing child. And it reminds me of a different case that we talked about two kids who weren't seen for a period of time and then wound up in a storage locker. Well, this one's sort of similar, very similar. And I'm going to get this up on the screen for you. Yes. Here we go. So it's a 9-year-old girl. Here we go.
To the latest on efforts underway to find a missing girl from the Central Coast. Sheriff's detectives turning to the public for help in the search for 9-year-old Melody Buzzard. Here's what we're learning tonight from investigators and others in the community.
Here in Vandenberg Village, concern is growing over the disappearance of a 9-year-old girl. Neighbors tell me this house behind me is where the mother lives along Mars Avenue. Authorities also tell me that the mother hasn't provided information on where her daughter may be. I'm your community reporter, Crystal Bermudez, and I spoke with family members and residents in the community who all tell me they're just hoping for the girl's safe return.
As a mother, my mom heart absolutely cannot take this. I felt really inclined to step in.
While in the neighborhood late Thursday morning, I ran into Janet Holmes. She tells me she came to the home hoping to speak with Melody Buzzard's mother, but no one answered the door.
My hope was to make contact with the mother, maybe to be helpful.
A woman appearing to be Melody's mother, Ashley Buzzard, returned home in the afternoon but did not speak with us before going inside and shutting the door. When I knocked, there was no answer. After bringing some bags out to her car and leaving a little later, she returned home again a short time later, still refusing to speak with me. Her car, though, had a large yellow scratch and dent on one of the doors that wasn't there when she first left. Next door, Casey Monreal says her mother thought she saw Melody fairly recently, but home security...
So when she left to get away from the media, she's committed a crime, hit another car, and doesn't sound like she's reported it. That is a hell of a thing to crash into. Look at that thing in the car. Here, let me see if I can pause it. Oh, we lost it. There was a giant gouge in that car. Let me see if I can get back to it. Nope, that's not the story. Yeah, we may have to go back. There we go. That's a brutal. It's like she hit a brick wall. Yeah, let me pause this, and then we'll go. There you go. Look at that. There's that, whatever she crashed into. How do you do that to a car? Almost like she was drifting around a corner and smacked into something. Wow. That is, they should be following up with that. Because it sounds like she may have committed a crime and didn't report it. That's brutal. Why are they bothering her? Because her daughter is missing. Her daughter is missing and she won't tell authorities where the child is. So I say, let's bother her as much as we can. Let's do that. Because she has not been seen at a school in about a year. This reminds me of that story that we had out of Colorado a couple of years ago. There was 2 missing children who hadn't been seen in several years, and they ended up, one of them was encased in concrete, and the other one was, I think, put in a chest, and they were found in a storage locker. And it worries me when kids don't go to school or they pretend to be homeschooled, you wonder if that child is okay. They're saying here, the sheriff's office says the last verifiable contact with the child was approximately 1 year ago, And the most recent photograph available was taken 2 years ago. Really? You don't take photos of your 9-year-old child for a year or 2 years, and no one's seen her for 12 months? Concerning is the word. Here, I'm going to put a photo up of this lovely young lady. There's a photo of her. What a beautiful young girl. And they say here her name is Melody Buzzard, and apparently she was homeschooled, is in, these kind of air quotes, homeschooled apparently. I don't know if she really was or wasn't. Hold on, give me one sec. All right, sorry. Mrs. Ping wanted something. Yeah, there you go. What a beautiful young girl, right? We need to find her. We need to bug that woman as much as possible and find that young girl. Don't care if we annoy her. That doesn't bother me. I'm happy to annoy her. Yeah. Hold on for a second. Oh, that's okay. Yes, let's annoy her. I'm happy to annoy people who apparently have missing children. Yeah, let's see if we can go to a different update, if we can get one. So apparently it's Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, and they are looking into it because the school admin reported that the girl hadn't been in school for a prolonged period of time. And that is always concerning. They say detectives have not been able to confirm any recent sightings of Melody, and that last verifiable contact was about a year ago. Yeah, if you have any information, if you've seen this little girl, we have a lot of people in California that watch the show. Contact the detectives at 805-681-4150. And they're asking for any small detail, and that would help investigators. They're saying even the smallest of like, hey, I saw her over here, that would really help. So if you know anything, reach out to authorities. Yeah, they should do that thing that they did to Lori Vallow. Do you remember that? They gave her a period of time where she had to produce the child. How come they can't do that here and say you have 24 hours to produce the child or you're going to jail? They did it to Lori Vallow. I don't understand why they can't use that same thing here and force her to produce the child. I think that's what they should do. I mean, why are we playing guessing games? You either have the child or you don't have the child. It's not a very hard question. And you either know what happened to the child or you're lying. There's only 2 options there, too. Miss Woozy said, I wonder if they think she's holding her somewhere that would put the child in more danger. Possibly, but I don't really care. I just want to know the child is alive or not alive. Yeah, dinking around. That's a good word for what they're doing. Dinking around, because they're dinkers. Stop dinking. All right. So yeah, well, I'll bring you more on Melody when I have it. There's really not a lot right now. That's really the big thing about it, is they're just trying to track her down. They're saying here, investigators attempted to contact the girl and her mother. Her mother's name is Ashley. And they said, however, neither of them were there when they tried to contact them at the home, and no clear explanation was provided for where the girl is located. There you go. Yeah. According to neighbors, the only 2 people that live in that property are the mother and the girl. There's no other third party, just them 2. All right. Okay. We're going to stay in California now. I'm going to take you to a second story out of California, and I think you're going to want to listen to this one. We covered this back when this happened originally, and this is an update in it. So this guy's name is hold on, Douglas Shaw. He's 41 of Vallejo, and he pleaded not guilty and waived his rights He's accused of killing Renea Lewis, who was a Berkeley resident. And here's the update on it. He's been charged with murder.
Family members consoled each other outside court in Fairfield after the man accused of killing 28-year-old Renea Lewis in Vallejo was charged with murder.
Our family is under grievance. We are devastated at this time.
They're heartbroken that Lewis, the light of their life, is no longer with them, allegedly killed by someone they don't know. The defendant, 41-year-old Douglas Irwin Shaw, answered a few questions from the judge in Solano County Superior Court. The father of two girls did not enter a plea.
Renea was a queen. That's who she was.
LaToya Lewis was among dozens of family members who packed the courtroom, shocked over the killing of her cousin, who would have turned 29 on Monday.
Renea, we love you. You know that. You know the heart of your family. You know the blood of this Lewis family would have never stopped looking for you.
Authorities said Shaw used a knife to kill the victim, then dismembered her in a detached unit where he lived near 14th Street and Star Avenue in Vallejo. Her body was found hidden in a space leading up to the attic. I've learned Vallejo police seized many knives from his home. Police later arrested Shaw at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Vallejo, where he works as a mechanic. Her family and police tell me the two were not a couple and may have met only recently. Authorities have not discussed a motive or circumstances leading up to the killing. The defendant will return to court next week. He's being held without bail at Solano County Jail. In Fairfield, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2.
Brutal. Brutal is the word that I can think of for this. What a very tragic and horrible end to that woman's life. And the only person is the one accused. That's all we can say. Here we go. There's a nice photo of her. I like to put the victims' photos up because we should remember them, not the person who did the crime to them. Try and remember the person that they took from this earth, not the loser who is still here on earth. So here's a nice picture of her. What a nice looking woman, and she probably would have done some great things in her life if this crime did not take place. So the world has been robbed of what she would have given to the world, and that in itself is a tragedy. Let me take you back to when this very first happened. So let me take you back to earlier this month.
Her last location was here, and her last location pinged right here, but we still looked in the area. We looked in garbage cans. We looked everywhere.
Jakeem Green says his family's been looking for his cousin, Renea Lewis, since she was reported missing on Sunday. On Tuesday, came news that her body was found at this house.
The reaction is just distraught. I was distraught, confused, lost, hopeless.
Neighbors say the house has been boarded up for a long time. Police say the suspect lived in a detached unit in the backyard.
With a search warrant, we were able to do a thorough search, and we located Miss Lewis inside the residence.
In a statement to ABC 7 News, the Vallejo Police Department confirmed that the suspect did confess to killing Miss Lewis. Lewis's body was found behind a concealed entry to the home's attic. Family members believe she was brought here against her will.
I kind of want to know, why is there a motorcycle just lying on its side in the driveway? Did you guys see that? There's just a random motorcycle lying on the side. Yeah, I'll take you back. You might be able to see it. There you go, behind the guy's shoulder. Why is there just a random motorcycle doing that? Like we live in the upside down world. There you go. The house looks like a friggin' drug den. It really does. I don't begrudge people having to live however they can in whatever they find possible. But this house doesn't look like that. This house looks like it is trashed. It looks like someone has trashed the property. It doesn't look like someone's just staying where they have to have a home. It just looks like someone trashed the crap out of it. Let me see if I can. There you go. We're not having fun with this. Come on.
Whether they're grown or little or like that.
parent. We all have
It's expected to be
grown or her loss.
There you go. It just looks like someone has trashed the property, and to think that is where that young lady's last moments of this earth were, behind a concealed door in the attic. That guy deserves everything he's got coming to him in jail. He really does. Those type of people, no sympathy for Big Bubba making him a special friend in jail. Those two are going to have a very close, long jail friendship, I'm sure. And no one will feel sadder for it. And Rachel said definitely destroyed that place, probably knocked the motorcycle over. Possibly. So we'll learn more on that one as well as we continue on. But yeah, very, very sad. Very sad to hear that about that young lady. Here, I'll put her photo back up for you. And if I can go here. So they said that she was found dismembered. That's the word they're using. They're saying, here's the man accused of dismembering a Bay Area woman's body and concealing her remains in a detached dwelling unit, has pleaded not guilty. And they're saying Rainey Lewis went missing last month. Her status prompted an Ebony alert. Her body was ended up being found 2 days later in that property. Here's the 100-point loser right here. Out of 100 points of being a loser, he scores the maximum you can, 100 points. And there you go. There's a photo of what a 100-point loser looks like. And they say here the victim's mother tracked her daughter to the home where the body was found using Life 360, a family location safety app. The mother said Lewis was not responding to her text messages. The family said they had no connection to the home or its resident. They say Shaw was arrested at his place of work the same day her body was found. Following his arrest, he gave a statement to Vallejo Police Department where he admitted he was responsible for the crime, and he was booked into Solano County Jail for murder. Authorities allege he used a knife to kill and dismember his victim. He's next due in court on November 18. So next month we'll find out more about his offending, I'm guessing. You heard that? Yeah, me too. Hold on a sec, guys. All right, there we go. Let's go here. Hey, it's been good to see you everyone this evening. I know we're on very late. Trish had a very late show tonight. That's why we're on super late ourselves tonight. I was also out getting the American stuff for our bonus show on the second channel in a couple of days. So that'll be a lot of fun. Saturday night, we're going to sit down. I'm going to try some of these American foods, and I'm going to tell you my brutally honest assessment of some of your favorite things from America. So we're going to have a bit of fun that night. Less true crime, more just, having a bit of fun. All right. I want to see if we got anything else. Might be a bit of a short show tonight, being how late it is, unfortunately. Let me see if I've got anything else on our list for tonight. Oh, okay. That is a good one too. I forgot, but Trish did it anyway. But 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro's father, that's a strong word. I don't think, whatever he is, has pled guilty to the murder of his son. Yay, good work. So that's Jake Haro. You would remember this from what happened earlier this year, where we were all going ballistic over 7-month-old Emmanuel, and we all picked up just how not well that child looked in his final days. He did not look well. I think we'd all picked up that poor child had been abused for a period of time. And yeah, I'm glad that it's been resolved. but very sad that it was at the cost of the life of a 7-month-old child. Very, very sad. Here's a small update for you.
That surprise guilty plea in the baby Emmanuel Haro case. The boy's father, Jake Haro, now admitting to that he murdered his son.
Baby Emmanuel's remains have not been found, and his mother still stands accused as well. KTLA's Andy Rose Ramos live outside the courthouse in Riverside with more. Andy Rose.
Hey guys, yeah, it was just expected to be just another day in court, and it turned into an incredibly surprising one when Jake Haro changed his not guilty plea into a guilty one, admitting to murdering his very own son.
We just ask if anybody knows anything to please contact Yucaipa Police Department.
A shocking admission today made by 34-year-old Jake Haro, in tears as he made a surprise guilty plea to killing his 7-month-old son.
He was emotional. His voice broke as he answered the judge's questions.
Press Enterprise reporter Brian Rowe.
Yeah, emotional for himself because he knows he's going to spend probably the rest of his life in jail. Not emotional because of Emmanuel. This guy's a selfish bitch. He ain't emotional over what he did to that child. He's emotional that he got caught. He's emotional that now he has no choice but to plead guilty. And now he gets to spend the rest of his prime of his life in jail. That's what he's emotional over, not Emmanuel Haro. This guy is a cretin. He is a scumbag. There are not enough words for me to describe him. He is not emotional over anything but for himself.
Locos was in the courtroom as it happened.
When the judge said, do you admit to the murder charge? He said, I'm guilty.
The father of baby Emmanuel, who is still missing, entering guilty pleas to 1 count each of murder, child endangerment, and filing a false police report.
In a very surprising and unusual move, he has admitted to guilt to all counts.
The district attorney's office saying today's change was not a plea agreement, but instead Haro making his guilty pleas directly to the court.
So what he's going to do is
so like I said, it's not a plea deal, but I would expect that because he's pleaded guilty, if he wants that early guilty plea reduction of sentence, I think they'll pressure him to give up where Emmanuel is. I think they won't give him any discount on his sentence unless they return that baby boy and give him a proper burial. So I would hope so. I would suspect it was just a mountain of evidence, and when his legal got the discovery or whatever the case file, that they knew that he was there's nothing he could do. The only option they had was to try and get a lesser sentence by pleading guilty early, and he's so much of a little bitch that that's the first thing he'd want to do. How can I spend less time in jail? What can I do? Plead guilty? All right, that's what I'm going to do, because that's the type of guy he is. He is a scumbag of the highest order. Seeing his face on that camera pleading for information about Emmanuel, you could tell it was fake the whole time. Everyone could see it. It's not just Ping who does true crime. It was everyone. Everyone saw straight through that girl, him, everyone. They knew the whole thing was full of crap from day one. People in true crime have been around the block enough to sort of pick up on things. And when everyone in true crime says the same thing, you have a problem. Because I don't think I saw any person be like, I think this is really a missing child. I don't think so. I think 99% of true crime people knew something was off, knew it wasn't a real kidnapping. And very few times in the sort of true crime community and further have I seen such unison of everyone being, congealed in the same sort of opinion from day one. It was pretty crazy. So they did a really crap job at trying to cover up the death of Emmanuel. Miss Woozy said, I'm nearsighted and I could see it a mile away. Worst acting ever. There was so much that was off. Her story, her body language, his body language, information they were giving out, they were terrible. Worst liars ever. They couldn't lie to a 5-year-old to get their candy. Not a chance. The 5-year-old would pick it up. They are not smarter than a 5th grader. They are not. So that's a good result. That means we won't have to go through a massive trial for Emmanuel, but I would hope that maybe there would be a condition placed that he would have to give up the location of Emmanuel. That's what I would hope. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to close some links. We have far too many links open. Let me close down some of this. All right, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a bit of a short one tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow for Friday night to hang out with you all. I cannot wait to do that. I think it's going to be a great time. We're going to hang out and I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure it out. We always have great stories on this channel. I want to thank Jackie for her donation tonight. That was very, very kind. Yeah, it's been extremely stressful with the YouTube stuff, and I hope they fix it. I really do, because it's hurt. Like, it doesn't. If you were making one of those $10 million subscriber channels or whatever, you probably wouldn't notice. But when you're a small channel like me, these things that happen, or these changes, and it really affects the small creators a lot, because it goes from being like, half decent to like nothing. And I hope they rectify it and fix the problem. Chimong says, what is the new channel? It is Ping Unfiltered. I'll put it in the comments after we're done. I can't get to it right now. By the way, we've had a few people write in and say they are going to send some things to the PO box. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But remember, don't spend money on me. If you want to send some art or something, if you do some sort of like arts and crafts at home, that would be great. If you got a skill, like you make woodwork or something, and you do like something like that, that would be fantastic. You can do something with the channel or my name or something like that. That'd be cool. So, yeah, if you want to do something arty or creative, that would be amazing. And then we can show everyone on the channel. I would appreciate that. So, all right. I will see you tomorrow. We'll hang out again for Friday night. And I think it's going to be Saturday night, we're going to sit down and taste all the USA items that I picked up today. And we picked up a ton, even things we didn't order originally that we found at the store. So we got a whole bunch of things for me and Mrs. Ping to try on Saturday night. So I hope you'll join me then and for tomorrow night, and tune in to Nights with Ping. If you could hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And while you're down there, hit that thumbs up. That really helps me out as well. Good night, everyone. Bye.